Well, Charles, it's your 40th birthday coming up, and I've brought you back to where it all started on the 29th of November 1969. Here's the house where you first grew up. It's Moorgrange View in West Park. And if my memory serves me correctly, it doesn't look that much different. It's still white. Let's go and visit your first school, Miss Davis's. Here we are, Charles, at your first school, Miss Davis's, or Farhaddon Preparatory School. The bell's just gone, the kids are going out, ready to go to playground. So, nothing a lot has changed. Again, they've extended to this side of the school. But I think I'm going to have to move now before I get arrested. So, join me back when we've got a bit of history about November 1969.
Charles, all that's left for me to do is a rundown of the news of what was happening in November 1969. Well, sport first. Leeds United was second in the First Division, trailing behind Everton by 3 points. There were some significant births in 1969, date of your birthday. There was Ben Iraha. He was a soccer player for Vertice. I think a lot of people knew him around the Vertice sort of area. There was also Craig Evans. He was a cricketer. He was a Zimbabwean batsman in the 1996 World Cup. But last not least, one of the most famous people was Jamie Carney. He was a cyclist in the 1996 Olympics. So there you go. Born on the same day as some very, very important people. Pleased to say that because of the celebration of your birth, nobody died, which was very good. Well, nobody famous. I think what I need to do now is just go through some of the things that were happening in November, because it was a very, very newsworthy month in 1969 and a lot of important things happened. First of all, on the 3rd of November, Nixon addressed the nation by television and radio, asking them to support the Vietnam War, so give him his support for this war. You'll hear later on that didn't go too well. On the 9th of November, American Indian, led by Richard Oakes, seized Alcatraz. He was there for 19 months, which sort of inspired a wave of renewed pride and government reform for the American Indians. So very, very important for Richard Oakes to do that. The day after, all that was a bit shadowed because Sesame Street premiered on national educational TV in America, and that really put a shadow over Vietnam War and Alcatraz, from what I can see from the news. It took another 4 days for any news to be worthy to take the place of Sesame Street, and that was actually the launch on the 14th of November of Apollo 12. That was manned by Peter Conrad, Richard Gordon and Alan Bean, and it was the second manned mission to the moon. On the 15th of November, obviously when all they were watching the launch of the rocket in Apollo 12, I'm afraid there was a little bit of collision in the Barents Sea. And that was a Soviet submarine, K-19, I'm afraid collided with the USS Gatso. Again, causing a bit of issue with this Cold War. Also on the 15th of November, first the collision, secondly, all the people that Nixon wanted to help him started demonstrating against the March of Death. And that really consisted of 250,000 people who I think Nixon thought might be his supporters. So that wasn't good for Nixon. So not going too well for the Cold War or Vietnam, but at least Sesame Street had been launched. The good thing for us in the UK on the 15th of November was we could watch all this in colour, because colour began to be broadcasted on BBC One and ITV. So what can I say? All good for us in the UK. But also on the 15th, there was a man who couldn't follow any of the Vietnam War or anything, a man called Dave Thomas. On the 15th of November, he actually started Wendy Burgers. That good burger place that didn't quite catch up with McDonald's, but had a good time in London for a while. He launched that on the 15th of November 1969, and he named Wendy Burgers after his daughter's nickname. And his daughter was called Miranda Lou, so you can see why he called it Wendy. On the 19th of November, Mr. Conrad and Mr. Bean, the people on Apollo 12, they landed in the Ocean of Storms on the moon and became the 3rd and 4th people to actually set foot on the moon. Great for them. While they were setting foot on the moon on the 19th of November, Pelé was scoring his 1000th goal. Good on you, Pelé. Day after that, 20th November, Richard Oakes, if you remember, he was the American Indian that seized Alcatraz. He returned with 90 followers and offered to buy Alcatraz for $24. Obviously that sale didn't go through, and he left in January 1970 without owning Alcatraz. Coming nearer to your date of birth now, the 24th of November, and nearly at the end of this report, Apollo 12 spacecraft splashed down safely in the Pacific Ocean, ending the second manned mission to the moon. Now all this going on, and on the 25th of November, John Lennon returned his MBE medal to protest against the UK support of the US war in Vietnam. Good on you, John. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the report. I hope there's some facts and figures you can use there in later life. All that's left for me to say is, hope you enjoyed this little video. It's good fun making it for YouTube, and see you soon and have a fabulous birthday. Bye.